What's up, everyone? I think it's time I just started to vlog with the V about what's going on and what's happening in my life, and basically try to see if I can reach out to anybody, even if it's just one person, to maybe reconsider a lot of the choices that they make and be a primary example for that person. Like, that's gonna be a goal. Basically, I'm Juan. Nice to meet you, Juan, for the Spanish speakers. I was born in Mexicali, raised in Orange County my whole life, and graduated from Long Beach State University with the major of communication studies. And basically, here I am. I might get interrupted. I'll just piece it together, and we'll get to know each other as we go. Basically, wanted to just give out a briefing of what life has been for me these 33 years of my life. It's been a journey, and a lot has happened. I mean, you ask God for something and God will provide. I asked God to make me strong, and He put a lot of missions, a lot of tasks, a lot of situations. He put me through these situations to help me understand that He's always going to be there for me. He's always going to be there for me. And one of the things that I'm most grateful for is just being able to come through, floating through the other side. I mean, yeah, one of my favorite verses in the book of Isaiah is when you walk through waters, you will not be drowned. And when you walk through fires, you won't be burned. I don't remember precisely where in Isaiah, but it's in there. It's my favorite, and that's what my journey has been like. And I just would like to share to someone who's probably struggling with addiction to consider getting help, or consider getting some sort of guidance in taking care of your psychological needs. Addiction isn't one of those things where you're just like, oh, whatever, I just drink too much, or I'm such an alcoholic, or because I go out every weekend, or addiction is a problem for many people. And you may know someone at close that is struggling with addiction, and by all means, it's not a joke to those that come to realize that they have a problem with addiction. And one of the things that gets misconstructed is that, oh, my friend has an addiction, or it's just a phase, he's gonna get over it. And as much as people would like for it to be a flu, it's not. It's what distinguishes it from making it like a mental disability, a mental sickness. And having to find the resources, having to find the information to learn how to treat this mental disorder, or this mental, I want to call it sickness. I want to call it sickness because it's what I learned that an addiction is, in the sense that a person, just any other average person, may use a substance. They might, hey, be at a party, they drink a beer or two, they smoke pot, and then it's just the use of the drug. It starts to become a problem when people abuse that drug. And then you find yourself every weekend you have to drink, and then every party you have to take a six-pack, and then after every party you still have to continue, and you realize that even after the party you're still wanting to go hard, and you still are finding ways to cope with what's really going on with your life, right? And so you like that feeling that you could just continue the happiness that the substance is giving you, till it comes a point that it becomes a dependency. And when it becomes a dependency, that's when we're talking about a problem becoming addiction, right? Addiction generally is a behavior or an intake of a substance that alters the mind in order for you to continue to build a tolerance off of the substance that you're using, right? And so many people do it for many reasons, and the primary reason is not knowing how to cope with what's going on in here. And so I've learned a lot about addiction, I've learned a lot about my problem, and I've learned a lot about staying firm with the goals and plans that you have for yourself, right? Because one thing is very important, and to me, is realizing that, hey, I need to get myself back on track, right? Before you know it, you have a year gone by and you're still struggling. 2 years go by and you're still struggling. 3 years, 4 years, up to 9 years is where I'm at, and I'm struggling, right? And it comes to a point where you just have to take defeat. I was watching some videos about addiction, and there's this coach talking about 3 types of addicts. You have the addict that has complete denial. He says he doesn't have a problem, right? There's nothing that can like make this person realize that, dude, I mean, you're going downhill and you're going nose dive deep into a pool that doesn't have any water or any cushion for you to comprehend like what's really going on, because you're just too intoxicated. So that's the first type of addict, and I'll put the resources for that coach. I'll tag him in this video. And then we have those addicts that accept that they have a problem, or that they are possible addicts, and they don't know how to cope with it. And so they just kind of like don't know what resources they need to take, or they may have some sort of like idea of like how they need to deal with their addiction, and they're just like, nah, it's cool, I'll handle it, I'll do it on my own, missing out on opportunities that become available to them. I'm talking about mutual help groups, AA, NA, smart recovery, programs that actually work for certain people, and one of the things that, like I said, there's a variety of medicine out there for addiction. You just have to figure out what works best for you. You can seek a therapist, or you can seek an AA group, an NA group, smart recovery, groups that are going to challenge your thoughts and mentality on what it is you need to start doing in order for you to get intact with your inner self. And then so the last type of addict is that addict that accepts defeat, right? And so I think I'm at that point where I've tried everything on my own. I was that second addict for a very long time, where I was like, okay, well, thanks for the information, I'm gonna do it on my own, or I'll figure it out, and so like I start making plans, and then I think I'm gonna follow through with them, not realizing that in a moment of loneliness, in a moment of feeling like nothing's around to challenge me, that's when the cravings start kicking in, and that's when these thoughts and these radical ideas of having to face reality in that sense of, hey, wake up, dude. It's a lot easier for a person that's an addict to just run to something that's going to make them feel good, because an addict really feels like their substance is their scapegoat. Their substance is something that they start doing in order for them to just feel okay with the misery that's going on in their life. And so anyone that's struggling with addiction, I'm just letting you know, find a support group. Find out the root reason and the root cause of what it is that's going on in here, and start laying it out, because it becomes an entanglement. And basically like your like your headphones, when you're trying to like put them on and listen to a song, or like put them in your ear, and they're wire headphones, and you're just kind of like basically that's our thoughts. And then when you have other thoughts coming in, and then you have other wires, it just becomes a huge mess. And one of the main things of why addiction is a mental sickness is because a lot of the weaknesses that a person experiences is based off the emotions that are going on in their head. And so I can just testify, and I can let you know that I've been on a journey for a very long time, and working in addictions has made me realize and has made me learn, like, there's a lot of ways someone can recover, but it all comes down to that person being convinced and realizing that, hey, you do need the help, right? And accepting the need of being able to receive the help that is being given, right? And so I just wanted to let you know I'm here for you. I'm working through this myself, and addiction is better worked in a community, right? And so don't deviate yourself from anything that's going to take away from your experience, and realizing and learning what recovery is supposed to look like, because it's not a mess. It shouldn't be a mess. It's hard. Definitely, there's a lot of sacrifice that has to be made in order for people to feel like they're regaining their life again. And it's a process. I can tell you, I don't have the things that I would like to have off of the journey of recovery that I'm in, but nonetheless, I still realize that the hope and the dream of coming through is still there. So for you that is struggling with addiction, I'm here for you. Find someone to be there for you, that's a direct friend, a pastor, a church, a group, a community, something that's going to work for you. But please just don't give in to your thoughts of, I need to continue to use, right? And I speak directly to you, because sometimes the formality of talks, and you're just kind of like, oh, well, I mean, they've been through it. I'm coming through 3 months already from my last relapse, and I'm telling you, I know the information. I know what exactly I need to do. But when it comes to practicing it, when it comes to like upfronting these experiences, it's hard. It's hard. And I can tell you what's working for me is my spiritual path, and getting a lot closer with my superior power, right? And so that's working for me. I'm discovering who God is and what I can lay onto him so he can take off my worries. And I just command you to find whatever works for you. And the second and the third steps in the 12-step program is trusting in a God to take all your worries away, right? And helping you have your right judgment. And so if you know someone that is struggling with addiction, it's okay to feel like you want to hover that person, but realize a lot of love sometimes is a little bit deteriorating, because the addict's always looking for an opportunity to and they don't do it consciously in the sense that they want to like backstab you the moment that they gain their trust. They are looking for permissive behavior in order for them to feel like it's okay for what they're doing, right? And so just be graceful with an addiction if you know somebody that is struggling with an addiction, because it is a struggle alone for that addict to have to accept that they have a problem, and then accept other faults in their personality. And so, I mean, it's an issue. We can't deny that. Addiction is an issue. But understand that the person going through an addiction is lost. They're probably in a dark place trying to comprehend what emotions are going on in their mind. And with all the sensors that are going off in their head of feeling pleasure and feeling that escape with what the drug grants, it's hard for them to realize, like, what are their priorities? What are their goals, their life goals? And so they get lost in that entanglement. And so being graceful and just being that support for that person means a lot. So I just command you guys, if you know anyone that is going through an addiction, if you yourself are going through an addiction, start now. Start now. And you may slip, but just find it in your reasoning of why you need to stop now, right? Why you need to not delay anything to prevent you from taking the steps that you need to take, right? So push through, be strong. I'm here for you. I wish I had like a spazzy end quote. I don't, but I'm telling you, like, I didn't plan for this. I was just bored sitting here in the workshop that the store shop that I work in a treatment facility. And so stay strong, and there's no perfect time, but there is a right time. You got this.